Hello, everybody. Good evening, good early evening here from Klaipeda, Lithuania. This is the Basketball Champions League. It's the regular season Group D clash between Neptunas Klaipeda and Besiktas Sompo, Japan. Well, here tonight we have an 0-1 team, Neptunas Klaipeda, that played very well in their game day one opener before falling to Virtus Bologna in overtime, taking on a Besiktas team that started with a win last week over Midi Bayreuth. Well, we've got SIG Strasbourg already winners over Midi Bayreuth this week, and Virtus Bologna also beating up on Ostend. And you saw the other two games tonight in this group. Don't cry, the game's about to start in this group. Group D promises to be an interesting group for start to finish. Obviously, Virtus Bologna and SIG Strasbourg up at the top at 2-0. Prometheus Patras will play tonight, and Besiktas as well, both 1-0. And of course, Neptunas Klaipeda down 0-1. They will be looking to even their record. And perhaps if there's a group of teams that could very easily have won last week, Neptunas would be one of them. I mean, they came within a couple of jump shots of winning that game last week, and they will look to get back into that win column here on their home court. For Besiktas, Phil Pressey, Erkan Veseloglu, Samat Gaig, Joe Alexander, Robin Benzing, who made the All-Star 5 or the Team of the Week after game day one, Dusan Kantekin, Kyle Gibson, Kanan Sipahi, all players under Dusan Ivanovic and Dushko Ivanovic, rather, and well, they'll be ready to play, but I think they'll have a much tougher game tonight than what they encountered in week one when they beat up on Ostend. For Neptunas Klaipeda, Coach Kazis Maxvidis, Dre Grant. You can't say enough about him last week, how tough he was, number 45. Kyle Weaver, obviously a big-time player. Seamus Galdikas, Osvaldas Olasavicius, Delena Kaitis still has it. Lymanus Kisielius. Also, it's a team that goes deep to their bench, and they will try to play up-tempo. Again, they will try to go inside to Dre Grant as much as they can, certainly if last week is any indication. So there's Dushko Ivanovic there. One of the, I think probably people recognize him as one of the great coaches in European basketball. He has had a lot of success wherever he's been. Joe Alexander looking to make his mark here in this Basketball Champions League with this Besiktas team, a team that really for the first 2 years has been among the best teams during the regular season, but they have not been able to have any success in the playoffs. So for Neptunas, you saw the players running out. For Besiktas, for Neptunas, a lot of these players have prior experience in the Basketball Champions League. Lorenzo Williams, looking at him, he was tough, very tough last week in the first half, and almost hit a shot at the end of regulation to win it, but it was blocked by Virtus, and they then lost in overtime. Thomas Zelenidakaitis, the veteran, the Lithuanian international, still has a lot of big shots in him. Olasavicius here, Osvaldas Olasavicius, plays a lot of minutes. Nikolauskas there. And here's El Capitan Simas Galdikas, 31 years of age. The center. And Kyle Weaver, of course. You saw Gitas Masulis. There's Weaver. He was running hot last week. Dombrowskis played a lot of minutes, and of course, Jure Grant. He comes from big-time basketball bloodlines. Kazis Mekvidas. Grant, his father, Harvey Grant, played a long time in the NBA. Of course, he went to Clemson, played it, then transferred, ended up finishing his career at Oklahoma. And his uncle Horace Grant was a four-time NBA champ, teammate of Michael Jordan. And he also has a couple of brothers currently in the NBA. Jeremy and Jarian. Jeremy with Oklahoma City and Jarian with Washington. But anyway, Benzing, he had a great game last week, and I'm sure Coach Ivanovic would like nothing more than for him to come out and get the job done. He's been captaining Germany as well during the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. And Benzing has been a terrific leader in that regard. Referees tonight from Latvia, Montenegro, and Poland. Martins Kozlovskis in the middle, Zdravko Rudicic, and Darius Zapolowski. Okay, the starting five for Besiktas will be Veseloglu, Joe Alexander, Gibson, Kenan Supahi, and Ivan Bua. And there's a man who's coached a few games in his life and had a lot of success. Perhaps best known for his days in Spain when he was at the helm of Baskonia. And he has, after the first two seasons, Besiktas were led by Ufuk Sarıca, who's the national team coach of Turkey. So now they have got Ivanovic at the helm. And Kazis Mekvidas has his starting five of Lorenzo Williams, Lymanus Kisielis, Gitas Masulis, Kyle Weaver, and Jure Grant.
You take this American Gibson. Rare difference. Gitas, 11, you're coming for the help. Guys, let's start from box 5. Game offensively. Get the ball, turn around, and play one-on-one. Then let's go for horns down. So Kyle side, ignore situations, be patient, swing the ball. Okay? As a transition, let's go on the move.
After the system. Okay? But first, good system. Ready because they will play very aggressive. Attention, the pressure the ball when we call the system. Don't lose the ball. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, there's Grant. I tell you what, if they'd won that game, I'm pretty sure he would have been on the team of the week. I mean, he was that good last week, Jure Grant at Virtus Bologna. Well, folks, before we start here, we're going to have a minute of silence following the tragic death of Patrick Baumann, the FIBA Secretary General and IOC member, on Saturday. He was on Argentina attending the Youth Olympic Games and sadly passed away at the age of 51. With his passion and determination, Patrick Baumann was the leader and advocate of basketball worldwide, and he was also instrumental in the creation of the Basketball Champions League with a vision to bring a high-level competition to clubs all across Europe. So we're having a minute of silence in his honor. So Patrick Baumann became the FIBA Secretary General in 2002. He was also a member of the IOC member since 2007. And trust me, folks, he was a hard worker and a visionary, and he's going to be sadly missed. Well, good evening, folks. If you're just joining us, we are in Klaipeda, Lithuania. This is the Basketball Champions League, and it's the game between Besiktas in the black and Neptunas in the blue. Both of these teams have played in the Basketball Champions League. This is now their third consecutive year. And an early foul called on Neptunas. The early free throws. First foul call on Lymanus Keselius. So going to the line, Ivan Bua. This is his first attempt. And makes the second. From Croatia, Bua. A lot of good basketball players down in that part of the world. Here's Dre Grant backing up Bua, and boy, what a soft release. And the more you watch him, I mean, he definitely looks an improved player from his first season in the Basketball Champions League a couple of years ago. Here's Joe Alexander. And his first attempt off target. Chance of Lietuva already. Lithuania. Lithuanian for Lithuania. Kyle Weaver hits the long two. Got a lot of experience, has played in NBA, Kyle Weaver. I think they've really put together a nice team for Neptunas this season. This is a team that can do something. Ivan Bua gets it in the low post, puts it up and in. And you can see Ivanovic trying to get his guys to get those high percentage shots down low. And now the bump by Sipahi, foul on Weaver. Now quick pass and, well, a little bit of a pump fake. And Turkey bid on it. So young Gitas Machulis is going to the line. It was Alexander who picked up the foul. Alexander was the 8th overall pick in the NBA draft about 10 years ago. 2008 by the Milwaukee Bucks. Now 31 years of age. But free throw is good by Mishulis. And now the anticipation, the steal, get ready for the throwdown. Well, Jerry Grant just decided to kind of a soft dunk approach. Doesn't want to use all his energy. He remembered how hard he had to work last week, all 40 minutes. So he just goes in and shows a little bit of elevation. Bua going to work on Grant. And Grant, good job playing defense. Forces a turnover. Now foul. Another foul called against Besiktas. So the timeout has been called on the floor as Besiktas have to go back to the drawing board. Let's try to listen in on the huddle.
Don't lose the ball. You're ready for fight with this guy. You don't fight with this guy. Hey, you have the shot, man. You are on. Looking for shot. Ivane, pa vratimo loptu ovdje, dribling ga. Vrati šuteru loptu. They play out. Two.
See the shooting numbers early.
Follow. And 4 under. But more contact. Let's go, fellas. Let's go. Sorry. We're close to each other. You fake, go for the shot. Keep no situation. Lorenzo, get the ball moving. Let's go, guys. Let's go. 3 down. Let's go. Nelson. Same way. Let's go.
So here's the steal and the fast break there, and the gentle flush by Mr. Grant. Grant, his pass errant. Now Sipahi takes it back out. Alexander, let's swing it. Besiktas hits the 3. Here's Grant, dumps it down low. Mishulis, oh, he had it. Not sure if he was worried about the tall Bua standing in his way, but Besiktas then drives in, puts it off the glass and in. Jerry Grant hands it off to Mishulis. Besiktas having reeled off 5 consecutive points. Now the dump and the ball batted away. Mishulis, quick pass inside. Oh, beautiful finish by Weaver. Now Sipahi. Besiktas. Down to Bua. Turns, puts it up just in the nick of time. And the ball will stay at this end of the floor. Gibson hustling out there, trying to get possession. So Masulis takes a breather. Bua again, and does not get the friendly bounce. John Mutaf has checked in for Besiktas as well, as has that man, Dombrowskis, or Olasavicius, excuse me. So Olasavicius gets on the board. And Vesegoglu denied as he got it inside. Olasavicius gets it off to Kisielis. And then he's fouled by Mutaf. There was the look. And Mutaf had his hands all locked up there. Vesegoglu takes a seat. Now Dombrowskis has checked into the game, and he's going to inbound it. And Galdicus misses. Excuse me, Speliauskas has checked into the game. Lorenas Velasquez, excuse me, there he is, number 30, so Dombrowskis will have to wait. I'm trying to get him in the game as quickly as possible, folks. Pressy into the corner over to Alexander, and he hits the two. That was a long two. Palauskas. Weaver splits the defense. Behind the back pass to Galdicus. Wide open, Olasavicius. Tenzing, who's in the game, gets it inside to Alexander. Olasavicius rebounds it, bounce pass to Belauskas, couldn't quite come up with it, and then Mutaf couldn't grab the ball before it went out of bounds. Kisielis takes a seat, and the rebound, Galdicus puts it up and in. Some people might describe him as a serviceable big man. Belinakaitis checks into the game, number 9 for Neptunas Klaipeda. Mutaf over to Pressy, now Alexander. Galdicus has it knocked away. Mutaf guilty of the reach. So Galdicus goes to the line. Besiktas already over the limit. Neptunas, meanwhile, just with 2 fouls. Well, having had their overtime defeat last week, having had a pretty decent lead at times against Virtus, but not able to pull away, they will be fully aware. This is a 40-minute game coming into this one. They at no time can relax. Not that they relaxed last week. But they led by as many as 15 points at Virtus, but weren't able to hold on. There's the drive, and Pressy gets his first basket. Outside to Weaver, feet set. Ball batted out to Delinakaitis. Velasquez, good. Takes it back to a 6-point advantage. Now Mutak. Samet Gayak in the game, number 9 for Besiktas, saved that ball. Now they're going after it. And Dantekin not able to rebound it. Here's Pressy again, going right at Olasavicius. Now Benzing puts up the 3 and then has the shot blocked and commits the foul. So Benzing picks up his first. Neptunas look like they've got the bit between the teeth right now. They're going for it. They were not a dejected bunch after their loss at Virtus, but they were certainly had the look of, wow, we gave everything, and we were up by 15, and we didn't win. But I'm sure they've gone back and learned from that setback. Weaver misses the second. Gajek has the ball knocked out of his hands by Belauskas. Now Weaver flies in. They pass around. Olasavicius gets it to Delinakaitis. Delinakaitis hands it off to Olasavicius. Good. Good patience. Besiktas will try to hold it for one shot. Pressy. And foul to give, so they wait as long as possible. 2.9 seconds remaining. Velasquez commits the foul. And they can commit another foul if they want to. Good minutes from Velasquez. Neptunas, one of those clubs that really seems to be developing local talent, giving them minutes. Velasquez, Masulas. Oh, they've got to hurry. Pressy gets it off. And he did have a good look. So great start for the home team, Neptunas. They lead it 22-12 over Besiktas at the end of one.
One guy, second guy, third guy, play close, we play separate.
Neptunas with 2 threes and 6 of 10 inside the arc, and also they've been to the line more than Besiktas. So some of the highlights, Kyle Weaver going out and bonding with the fans tonight. And again, Grant, an impressive start for him. Kyle Weaver and Olasavicius each with 5 points. Grant has that steal and fast break. He's got 4 points. Galdicus has 3. So second quarter underway, and Neptunas starting with possession here. Galdicus has it down low, going to work against Bua. And this time loses it, then tries to get after it, and then commits to foul, trying to get the ball back. Gajek. What about Olasavicius? Gets it back outside to Mutaf, and Galdicus with the rebound. Opportunity here for Neptunas to extend their advantage. Williams swing it. Delanakaitis pops the three-pointer. Bua. Will he go to work on Galdicus? Pressy. Well, Pressy drills the 3, so no, he will not. And this time, Delanakaitis loses it, but then takes it right back from Bua. And Lorenzo Williams now gives it over to Olasavicius from the right corner. And that will make that ponytail turn a little bit grayer that Ivanovic is wearing over there, seeing a turnover like that, leading to points. There's Pressy into the corner. And nice three-pointer from Gajek. So Samet Gajek, is on the board with his first 3. Quick pass and well read by Gajek to knock it away. Benzing then hands it off to Mutaf, who finally scores. And now the pressure forces another steal. Good play by Gajek, second in a row. And now the spin, and Bua gets in the lane and scores. And I think Neptunas want to talk about it. Besiktas getting it done defensively, forcing a couple of turnovers. Shooting numbers here early. Favored Neptunas, but Besiktas getting a little bit better.
Lorenzo, Thomas, Ramis. Pass to Thomas. Got. That's inside to Ramis. And Play this fake post. Screen. One time and shoot. If not special shot. Okay?
Well, the Besiktas have signed Jason Rich, but they just signed him, and he's not in the lineup tonight. It's interesting to see how quickly he's incorporated into it. You can see Ivanovic trying to get Boo on the same page. And one of his timeouts, it was like, listen, you fight for position, you get the ball. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go up with it. You can pass it back out and then ask for the ball again. Lymanus, Kisielis. And a hold called on Besiktas. So Kyle Gibson picks up the personal. Schulis thought about it. Now hands it off to Williams. Shot clock winding down now. Oh, nice penetration, but good block from Gajic. But he's called for the foul. And I'll tell you what, he's come out defensively and really made an impact for this Besiktas team. Maybe a little unfortunate there. Watch this. Williams, the quick pass to Machulis. And if there was contact, there wasn't much. It could be that maybe he was called for the foul because he had his left hand on the player, on the Schulis, the youngster. Schulis struggling at the free throw line. Gytis Machulis, just 20 years of age. Schulis makes it a 29-22 game. Gajic has it. Hands it off. Gibson. And there's Gajic again doing the big man's work. Oh, and he doesn't score. He would have had a potential three-point play if he'd made that putback. Watch Gajic here, get the board. Didn't necessarily have to make the dribble. Oh. That's going to drive his coach crazy. Could have had a three-point play. Now he's got a potential one-point play. Pass to Williams, over to Caselas. Grant knocks it back out to the perimeter to Weaver. Now Grant receives it, goes up like a man and draws the foul. So Jerry Grant will go to the line. And Alexander now has 2 fouls. Neptunas faithful here, liking the play of Grant. You know you've got to be liked by a club if they get you back for a second stint. And he must like playing in Lithuania. Basketball first country. Now the pass over to Alexander, and he was blocked by Machulis. Grant gets position. Oh, it goes up this time, and he was blocked by both Gajic and Benzing. Now Williams, his attempt was too long. And Williams called for the personal. Benzing gets in, and Grant with another rebound. Just go ahead and write it down. He'll have a double-double by the end of the game. In case you're wondering, it's Jeray Grant. He spells it Jerai, Jeray Grant. Williams. Oh, left his feet, nowhere to pass it. Ended up giving it to Pressey. Pressey calls the play. Spreads the court. Over to Benzing, back to Pressey. Shot clock winding down. Over to Gayak. He's got the range. It rattles out. Vassoulis with the rebound. Now Weaver. Bounce pass to Grant. Gibson. That would have been 3. Lymanus, Caselius, and Weaver goes in and lays it high off the glass and in. You can see that Weaver's got a little bit of showmanship in it. Silky smooth. Here he is again. Makes the ordinary layup. Puts a little panache on it. Look at this. So the field goal percentage for both teams. Tell you what, some good basketball being played in the Basketball Champions League this season. It's quite amazing, really, that as we're entering this third season of the Basketball Champions League, it's now already established as the second pan-European competition based on the number of countries taking part and the previous league positions of those participating teams. So there's only one way for the Basketball Champions League that is moving, and that is up. Well, that was interesting stat. 17 points from the bench for Neptunas and 11 for Besiktas. It's a 10-point lead right now for the home team. Benzing gets it to Bua. Good footwork, puts it up and scores. And Vassoulis almost knocked it away. Look at Pressey. Look at the hustle from Pressey. Oh, what a great play by Pressey to come up with a steal. Well, that was excellent from number 1 there. Bua again, but they did not capitalize. Another pass to Grant. Gets it back from Weaver. Shot clock winding down. Puts up a little short jump shot. Not really his shot. Better play by Besiktas. Ivanovic calling the plays, looking for the right movement. Benzing steps back. And Williams avoids the turnover. Back to Kaselius. And then he is fouled by Besikoglu. He picks up his first. I'll tell you what, you have to look back at that sequence about a minute ago, a couple of possessions ago. Neptunas struggling to get the ball up court with Pressy hounding them and just forced the turnover, but then Bua missed the shot down low. Kitsielis makes the first one. First points to the game, in fact, and takes it back to a 10-point game. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Veseloglu drives and makes the shot and draws the foul. Great play by him. So Kitsielis picks up the personal. Veseloglu, he's been a good player for Besiktas. And when Ufuk Sarıca was coaching, you know, he called him into the Turkish national team for the World Cup qualifiers. And that was a good aggressive move by him. There's a man that loves his club. Pressy trying to force the turnover against Balauskas. Here's Weaver. Gets the ball over to Balauskas. Puts up a deep three. And Gaudikas called for the foul, trying to stay active on the offensive boards. You see these Neptunas fans they're into it. They're excited. They know they've got a good team this year. They want to do something special. And against a very good Besiktas team, you know, they would love to get a win tonight. You need to protect your home court in competitions to really advance. And Brewer goes to the line and makes the first. However, misses the second. It's been that kind of night, really, for the Besiktas. Four, 6 at the free throw line. And Bua himself is 2 of 4 now. Balauskas. Shot clock winding down, and a foul called out on the perimeter against Besiktas with 2 of 5 remaining in the first half. Foul called on Gibson. So Sipahi coming back into the game now. Weaver makes the first. Kyle Gibson, meanwhile, from LA, Los Angeles. Weaver, meanwhile, a story of 2 Kyles, makes the second. Sipahi with the shot clock winding down, gets inside, or that was Besiktas, excuse me, and now a chance to run. And good defense from behind. I think it was Sipahi that knocked it away. Now they have a break, and he drives in and scores. No, that was Besiktas as well who knocked that ball away. So good play by Besiktas, playing aggressive tonight. And now good defense, forces another turnover with 1:13 remaining here in the first half. Well, it's kind of a tough spot for him to come up with a catch there under pressure. Besiktas hands it off to Sipahi, and then his pass was intercepted by Weaver. Savage just hands it back off to Neptunas. Under a minute to go now here in the first half. Grant to Weaver. Jure Grant going up against Bua. Good D from the big Croatian. Over the head pass back to Bua. Shot clock winding down, and Pressey decides to launch it. And Bua called for the foul coming over the back on Grant. Both teams over the limit. So first foul called on Bua. Bua, 27 years of age. Free throw no good. Second one good. The final 11 seconds ticking off the clock here. Neptunas with a 7-point lead. Besiktas with the ball. Pressey gets in the lane, puts it up and in. And now, boy, that was a bad mistake by Savage. Threw it right in the hands of Besiktas. And fortunately for Neptunas, Besiktas did not have enough time. And if we've seen anything from Pressey, he has got the ability to create and put the ball in the basket. Look at that. So an ill-fated pass, but Neptunas are not punished for it. They go to the break on top, 38-33. So Neptunas and Besiktas, there are the numbers. A lot more trips to the free throw line for Neptunas. Besiktas now 10 of 21 inside the arc, so that's interesting. They're having a little more joy. From a rebounding standpoint, Neptunas are really owning the boards. Ten turnovers for Neptunas. And if you look at the game leaders, Weaver with 9 points for Neptunas. It's a game high. Besiktas has 8 for Besiktas. And those are the leading scorers for both teams. Bua with 8 as well. Bua and Veseloglu with 8 points apiece to lead the visitors. In terms of those 10 turnovers, 9 points Besiktas has scored off of those 10 turnovers. But interestingly, Neptunas have punished Besiktas because they have scored 10 points off of their turnovers, and they have less turnovers. I think it was 7. So here's some of the highlights. And this is Basketball Central, folks. A, we're in Lithuania. B, we're in Klaipeda. Remember, they played World Cup qualifiers here this season, or this past year, as Lithuania qualified for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. That'll be in China next year. Here's DeRay Grant. You know, Besiktas have actually done a fairly decent job limiting his offense. Looked like he was going to start strong, but then we're a little quiet. So some credit there for Bua defensively. Weaver's, again, got the game-high 9 points, and here is some of his ability on display, hitting the long jump shot. In terms of Bua, what is he from the floor? Well, he's 3 of 6. He's 2 of 4 from the line. Does not have a single rebound, which is a little surprising. And his opposite, DeRay Grant, has 7 points, 7 rebounds, and a steal. And here are 2 of his points, DeRay Grant. So we are at halftime. It's Neptunas on top 38-33. As you watch the rest of these highlights, we'll take a short break and be right back.
Žiūrovai, palaikykime Nelę Kastilą. Neptūno, kaip sakant, pavai. Geras smūgis, jūs pridate Gintarą Batą. Aš nežinau, ar jisai atleisis už tai. Kol kas yra iš vieno bandymo. Vienas. Jūs labai gerai vertat, galbūt jūs pasisirinkime. Prašom. Na, mes iš karto, kaip sakant, galime pasakyti taip. Jums belieka paspausti ranką ir gauti pakodos prizelį kvietimą į varžybas. Prašome jums. Na, o jums iš mūsų komandos kapitono rankų prašome teikti fanų marškinėlius. Aišku, nuotrauka, transliacijai. Ir kitai, aš dar turiu jums vieną užduotį. Pirmoji užduotis yra, mes labai laukiame pergalės prieš Portugaliją. Kaip bus? Ar pažadate? Pažadate. Bus, tvarkoj. Ir antra, tada, kaip sakant, jūsų užduotėlė be gana paprasta. Aš paprašysiu jūsų šitą krepolį pasirinkti į bet kurią pusę mesti. Jūs nuspręsite, kam atiteks Baltikum bendrovės įsteigtas prizas, tai yra 6 mėnesiai nemokamo interneto. Ta kamuolį parneštas įsteigtai tuomet atgaus prizą. Jūs reikitės. Jūs galite jungti kitų Sipulskų, prašyti kamuolį iš jų rankų. Ir kas pagaus kamuolį, kviečiamas prie didžėjaus
38-33, the lead for Neptunas Klaipeda over Besiktas Sompo Japan. And Besiktas showing enough in that, at the end of that second quarter, I think really to suggest we've yet to see their best. Neptunas, again, playing well for long stretches, but not able to step on the accelerator and pull away. And the question is, are they going to have enough to get to the finish line tonight against a team that's very talented? And of course, the player, in my opinion, who really is capable of doing some special things for this Besiktas team is Pressy. I mean, he needs to perhaps be a little bit more selfish and really get after it. And Veseloglu as well has been terrific with his 8 points. You know, he's shown the right mentality, the way he's attacked the basket. Besiktas have gotten nothing so far from Robin Benzing, who was on the team of the week last week. And I mean, Bua has been okay with 8 points, but hasn't really done much on the boards. I was quite impressed by Samet Gajic. He had 4 points, 2 rebounds. So I think we can still see better from Besiktas. And obviously we can see more from Joe Alexander. Joe Alexander so far, as well as Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson has no points. And Joe Alexander has 2 points. You know, he's 1 of 5 from the floor. So it could be that we'll see a much better Besiktas. I'd be surprised if we didn't see a better Besiktas in this second half.
Okay, offense. Let's go, Jay, on you still. 2 down. Let's open, pass. Wide play 1-on-1 till then. Offense. Давай, guys, let's go.
No, Sush.
20 minutes.
So it's great to see these two teams back in the Basketball Champions League for the 3rd year in a row. I suppose the jury is still out whether or not they've taken a step forward in their status in the competition. We know that Besiktas has been one of the best teams in the regular season, but we won't know how good they are really until once the playoffs start. First of all, if they make the playoffs, and then if they can actually get some wins this year, something they haven't been able to do yet. But during the regular season, they've always been good. And for this Neptunas team, perhaps not quite as prestigious, not as much success, but nevertheless, they've certainly had their moments in this competition, and you know, they have the makings of a team that can do something this year. Iwan Bua starts things off here in the second half, going down low, and that cuts the Neptunas lead to just 3 points. Now, Neptunas have led by 13 points in this game. So that was a good aggressive play, getting the ball inside by Williams. And might have been fortunate to get to the line there. Looks like pretty decent defense from Alexander, but he picked up his 3rd foul. Williams makes both attempts. And Sapahi brings it back up. See if they go inside again. Mutaf comes up on high. Now Bua goes down low. Is he going to catch it from Alexander? Posting up. Alexander's going to take the shot. And Casellas with the rebound. Weaver thought about taking the three. Now to Jure Grant. Gets hemmed in down low, passes it back outside to Gitas Masulis. And then Masulis loses his footing. Good defense by Sipahi. And then Casellas called for the foul. Sipahi open, so he's going to take it. And a long rebound. Corralled there by Alexander. Now he's on the low blocks. Gitas Masulis playing defense, so Mutaf comes over and takes the jumper. And Masulis sneaks in there for the rebound. Casellas, and Bua doesn't rebound it. He had Jure Grant pressuring him. And the Kais checks in, as does Olasavicius. Now the pass intercepted by Benzing. And Sipahi with the long jump shot. Well, he missed his previous attempt, but there he nails it to cut that deficit to just 2 points. Weaver to Olasavicius, and he was held by Sipahi. And good steal from Besioglu. And then Williams chases from behind, almost forces a turnover. And Bua again doesn't want to be in a situation where he's trying to pick the ball up while being chased by Neptunas players. He's better off just stopping, raising the ball up high, and making the pass. I'm sure that's what Ivanovic is thinking as well. Quick pass to Jure Grant. Grant does not like to throw that ball down with some thunder, does he? He just likes to elevate and drop it through the hoop. Mutaf. Oh, he gets rejected. Not in my house, says Jure Grant. That was just SWAT City. And there Jure Grant just bit on the pump fake by Bua. And I think he got carried away with himself. Why is he biting on the pump fake? All the way out on the perimeter, given by Bua. Look at that. I don't think he's going to hurt you from out there. Here's Mutaf this time. And just can't seem to buy a bucket tonight, Mutaf. Now quickly to Jure Grant. Battling for position against Bua. Back outside to Williams. Just missed that one badly, Williams. And Grant gets his hands in there, forces a turnover. Kyle Weaver over to Williams. Well, looked better on that shot, but still missed it. Kyle Gibson's going to come into the game. And Pressey comes back in. Well, what do Kyle Gibson and Karl Malone have in common, you wonder? Look at Weaver getting inside for the dunk off the inbounds play. That's a breakdown. You cannot give that play away on an inbounds pass. And Olasavicius comes out and picks up the foul, trying to force the steal. So Kyle Gibson is checked into the game for Besiktas. And I asked you, what do he and the legend, Karl Malone, have in common? Ponder that one for 5 seconds. Here's Alexander, back to Pressey. Pressey seems reluctant to go to the basket. Well, he's going to take it now, and ball rimmed out. Good play. And now a backcourt violation as Belauskas threw it over to Delinidakaitis before he crossed midcourt. Watch this. So Galdikas gets it. He gives it to Belauskas. And he had just taken off. He hadn't landed yet on the other side. So that was a turnover. 13 turnovers now. Here's Gibson. It's not going to count. But since we're talking about Gibson and Karl Malone both went to Louisiana Tech. Play their college basketball. Of course, Karl Malone a long time ago. Now foul. Gibson was there from 2006 to 2010. So Galdikas catching it down low. And the foul is called on Bua, his second. Now, Belauskas misses. Quick pass to Alexander. Bua thought about taking it. Now Pressey. Alexander. And then Bua falls over. Delinidakaitis for three! Well, the wind starting to pick up a bit and get into the sails of Neptunas. They stretch the lead back to 9 over Besiktas. Pressy. Behind the back pass, oh! Finished by Veseloglu. I tell you, Pressy's got some nice game. Entry pass, and Savages puts it up and in. And now the pass, batted and then caught by Untitled, and Veseloglu committed the foul. So all of a sudden, Besiktas, you know, they've been thereabouts, but they just haven't quite been able to reach the top of the mountain. And here they are again, down by 9, and Neptune is threatening to extend their lead. And boy, that is flirting with an unsportsmanlike. Veseloglu says, no, don't call it. So with the lead, Weaver takes a seat to catch his breath. Bua goes out. So Omer Al checks into the game. First foul for him. Didn't waste any time, did he? And Belauskas makes the first one. Drew the wrath of all of his teammates and his coach when he made that pass to Untitled before he had crossed midcourt. A lot of potential, Belauskas, I think. Gayek just pushes, and a charge has been called. Watch this, pushes off with his left arm a little bit, and well, just actually leans into Untitled. Well, Bob, this Besiktas team has kind of lost its way, and Ivanovic needs to draw up some plays.
Read the mismatch, guys. Now, patience, patience.
No foul here in bonus order. No foul. He has the ball here. He
Fast break
plays
points.
zone. Okay. Pass. Quickly put in zone. Close. And stay with number 9. We don't help. Kai, don't help with number 9. Five up and off. Pass. Get open. Good pass. Thomas, split Simas. Play to the middle. Get
Second
the
chance
double.
points.
Go out. Win the ball. Let's go. Five. Nansus.
Game day 2 in the Basketball Champions League. And it's been an entertaining one here in Klaipeda, Lithuania. Savicius drills it from the baseline, and the lead now goes back to 13. Now Gayet passes it back to Gibson. Now the dump down low to Alexander. And he gets it off just in the nick of time, but doesn't make the shot. Kiselis, guarded by Gibson. And boy, that was a crazy sequence. Looked like he kind of flung the ball up there and almost went in. Sipahi going to work. Over to Gayet. Ivanovic, some stern looks over there. Weaver checks back into the game for Neptunas. So he's been able to get a rest, and the team has actually extended the lead to 13. Alexander. Now Gibson has to launch it with the shot clock winding down. Alexander with the rebound. Goes all the way in, and that's going to be goal interference. The ball already hit the backboard, surely. I think if they look at that again, entry pass to Velasquez, the ball knocked away into the hands of Velasquez. Savicius that was in there initially. Now Weaver, jump shot is good. I could have sworn Alexander's layup attempt hit the backboard and was then blocked. Sipahi. Oh, Savage is right at the end of the quarter, and it's too long. So a very poor third quarter for Besiktas. They are not at the races right now, folks. Neptunas lead it 55-40 after 3. Well, that 16-20 at the free throw line is big, isn't it, for Neptunas? And now they're 12 makes inside the arc as well as Besiktas. So the free throw line is where they've really been able to extend their lead. Well, the fans, they've got some devoted ones here in Klaipeda, and they're enjoying what they're seeing right now. Neptunas trying to get that first win of the season in the Basketball Champions League after falling last week in overtime at Virtus Bologna. Lorenzo Williams. Sixers need to make their move, and they need to make it now before this thing gets out of hand. Caselas. His pass hit by Sipahi. Shot clock winding down. Mashulis puts up one off 1 foot. Jan Mutaf collects the rebound. The Besiktas don't have to rush. I mean, you got 9.5 minutes to go. But they've got to start executing, and they've got to continue to get stops. Benzing in the game. Sipahi, his pass, it was telegraphed, and Mashulis just reached over and took it away. Galdikas misses, but there's Mashulis, picks up the ball and draws the foul. Interesting, Mashulis, his dad, Tomas, played for Lithuania's national team. Played at the Sydney Olympics. Here we have a timeout early in the 4th quarter as Besiktas try to get on track.
Find down, I said! Pass! Hand off! Pass! Move! We now find out! Move the ball, guys!
No situation, let's play ball back to Simas. I tried to go for this. Listen up. You go here.
16 assists for Neptunas, 12 for Besiktas.
Come up on the ball. Let's go. Guys, defense. Let's go, guys, let's go.
So Mashulis will be going to the line. I talked about his dad having played for Lithuania's national team. And that you might remember that famous game against the USA in the semifinals. He played 21 minutes of that game at the Sydney Olympics. Had 7 points, 3 rebounds. Lithuania almost beat them to get to the final. So now we see the next generation of Mashulis. And no doubt he will play for Lithuania at some point as well. He's played for the youth teams. But that also played for that Lithuania team that won the Eurobasket in 2003. Actually, no, he was in the semifinal round. He did not win, was not actually in the team that won the title. Bua drives in and scores with a hook. Galdikas has it. Goes against Bua. And are they going to count it? Ivanovic thinking that he hooks him. So they do count it indeed. And Galdikas goes to the line for a potential 3-point play. 16 points, the lead. I'm not sure how many people saw this coming. Neptunas could win, yes, but to win like this and to get an offensive rebound off the missed free throw by Mashulis. Now the turnover. They minimize the damage at least, Besiktas, but they've got to get stops and they got to get points. Mutaf, and he was fouled. Neptunas had a player fall down. There's Galdikas Pelantore Grant right. I give you a 16-point lead. Go out and close this thing out. So the foul is called on Weaver. Sapahi out, and I think Presley comes back into the game. Besiktas offensively just have not gotten it into gear tonight at all. They have not had the execution. And also at the free throw line, Neptunas have done a lot of damage, whereas Besiktas have not made as many trips, and they've also not capitalized when they have been at the line. Now 4 of 7, make it 5 of 8. $15 points, the lead. And Presley called for the foul. Williams pulls up and drills the jump shot. Takes it up to 17 points. Presley makes the pass, and Bua doesn't make it. And Neptunas push it forward. Weaver over to Masulis. And then Grant flies in, and Bua commits the foul. So Bua heads over to the bench. And the jam from Masulis. Boy, this is just getting out of hand for Besiktas. Mutaf puts up a 3 and is going from bad to worse for the visitors. So Mutaf complaining about the foul, and Weaver goes to the line and misses the first. Mutaf. Here's Weaver. Interesting player, Kyle Weaver. Benzing has been very quiet. Has not even scored a point tonight. He's only taken 3 shots. Alexander. And I think Masulis is guilty of a push there. Or will it be on someone else? Yeah, it was on Masulis. That dunk was his first field goal of the game, in fact. Here's Mutaf into Alexander. And Veseloglu with a little bit of a runner. Gets it back to 18 points. And Weaver fouled by Mutaf. John Mutaf. He's had better games. He struggled tonight. There's Pressey. Of course, his dad, Paul Pressey, had a long NBA career, was a great player. And clearly the apple has not fallen far from the tree on him. He's a good player as well. And Mutaf thinks about what might have been now that he has picked up 4 personal fouls. And Weaver makes both free throws to take it up to a 20-point lead. And don't forget, points differential and all that. You know, all these points are important. It's not just trying to win the game, but you want to try to win by as many points as possible because of potential tiebreakers. Here's Pressey. And Benzing hits the 3 and is fouled by Masulis. Do not foul the 3-point shooter. In fact, it is a cardinal sin to foul the jump shooter, but you want to get a hand in the face. Yet there's an art to it. More and more we see players getting fouled out there behind the arc. Savage comes in for Masulis. So Benzing, the 4-point play, and his first 4 points of the game. Pass inside, and Grant lays it up and in. $11 points, 8 rebounds for Grant. I thought he was a shoo-in for a double-double. We'll see if he gets it. He might sit down before he gets those 2 extra rebounds. We'll see. Pressey, a little bit of shaking and baking, and ball turns over. Looks like he was trying to get it to Grant, or to Alexander, excuse me. Weaver, is he going to take it? Puts up a 3. Grant, there's one of the rebounds. Then he gets blocked by Benzing. 4.5 minutes to go. Pressey. And Weaver with the board. 16 points for Kyle Weaver, leads the scoring for Neptunas. Well, Savage just has 12 points. Dre Grant, 11 points. Delanikaitis. Pressey gets inside, hands it off. Four minutes remaining, 18 points for deficit. Well, Pressey was just going to put it up and then realized he had no chance, so he tried to pass it over to Veseloglu, and they ended up getting a couple of free throws out of it as Delanikaitis picks up his first foul. So Ivanovic just not getting much from a lot of his players tonight, and you just wonder if they're all on the same page, if they know. Do they know what it is that he wants? Perhaps do they have the freedom to play that they need? Is it just a case of they're just not functioning well on his offense right now? He's not going to hit the panic button because one loss does not make a season. And they could come back down 16 with 3:50 remaining. It's unlikely. Neptunas can't celebrate yet. Here's Grant. Makes the pass to Olasavicius. Another jumper. And the drive and the basket is good by Pressey. Pressey kind of leaned into Belauskas that time, hoping to get a foul call, but did not get it. So it's back to a 16-point game, and Neptune is more than happy to take some time off the clock. Weaver pulls up, and the soft release no good. Bua with the board. Back to Benzing. And 2 shots coming for Benzing. Foul called on Olasavicius. Well, it's looking pretty good for Neptunas. Overtime heartbreak last week at Virtus Bologna, but right now up 16 on Besiktas with Benzing at the line. Some long looks on the faces of the Besiktas players right now. Big pass into Olasavicius. Shot clock winding down. Weaver misses everything. They took more time off the clock. Now Pressey back over to Benzing. Short. Rebound Bua. And puts it up. And gets it back to 69-57. A 12-point game. Besiktas not out of this thing yet. I think Coach Mazikas wants to get his players' attention here.
Listen up, I don't care about offense. What they are doing, they're sprinting and playing short sets. And they're beating us in first dribble. Simply, one-on-one. Please sprint back for transition defense. This is the key.
21 points off turnovers for Neptunas, 13 for Besiktas. McVita's taking his players to task, telling them they're not getting back on defense.
Attention, fast and low post. 25.
4 blocks for Neptunas.
We play 2. Other guy, we play one man. Let's go. Let's go.
That was the big time swat there. And that was another one. I'd like to see that one again. Could be that Alexander's layup was blocked before he held the backboard. And there is the offensive rebound and put back by Weaver. Rebounding has been a problem for Besiktas tonight. You can see that. Bua, soft shot. $14 points for Bua and 5 rebounds. And now the steal. And Pressey gets blocked, but a foul called on Weaver. Here we go. See this? Yep, they called the body. Weaver got a lot of ball there. Well, still not out of the woods here. Pressey makes these 2 free throws. Makes the first one. Back to an 11-point game. Just kind of creeping back into it, aren't they, Besiktas? Now it's a 10-point game. Neptunas not able to win with a big lead last week. Of course, that was at Virtus. And now Pressey sneaks in and takes it away again. Intercepts the pass. Hands it off, and it's an 8-point game with 1:15 remaining. Could something be brewing here? An amazing comeback win. Well, Kazis Mexvidas wants to sharpen his team's focus once again. There's the foul trouble.
Don't jump, help each other. We go from here, offense here, we go from here, so. Okay, 24 we got.
This side, hey, this side, close, come, try the steal the ball.
Foul trouble, Muhtaf and Bua each with 4. Besiloglu and Alexander with 3 each.
Double team, man, double team.
Looking for play, 2 against 1.
There have been much bigger comebacks than 8 points down with 1:17 remaining. So this is potentially, and I would not use this word lightly, disaster for Neptunas if they don't win this game, having led by 20-plus points, or 20 points. That was their biggest lead, and it was in the 4th quarter. Ball inbounded. Now Weaver has it. Besiloglu tries to go for the steal. Now Williams has it, and Neptunas more than happy to take time off the clock. Williams penetrates, hands it off, and Grant goes up for the dunk. Now Pressey to Sapahi, Besiloglu for 3. And Neptunas fans can breathe a little easier now. And that was a very good timeout, it appears. They set up the press break. And boy, Pressey's defense is something to marvel at. I mean, he's terrific. Here's Williams. And that was Grant just saying, I'm just going to throw this one down. Williams high off the glass and back to a 12-point lead. Behind the back to Bua for 3. And now Williams has it. So Neptunas are going to hold on, folks. It was looking a little uncertain there with about 1:17 remaining after Besiktas cut it to 8 and forced Neptunas to call the timeout. Weaver's going to step up, and he's going to bank it in. And perhaps a fair representation of the score of the game. 78-63, Neptunas Klaipeda win it by 15. And Besiktas, well, they'll just have to go back to the drawing board. And they got to raise their game, though. There's no doubt about it. Large stretches of this game, they were not at their best. 78-63, Neptunas win it. Well, Kazis, Makšvidis, and Neptunas, I suppose, breathed a sigh of relief, and also thank the fans for coming out tonight as they go to 1-1. And Jere Grant had himself a good game tonight. Incredibly, did not get the double-double. I thought he was going to have it. Finished with 13 points, 9 rebounds, a couple of steals in the block. Not a bad night's work. See the numbers, 20 of 27 at the free throw line. That was huge for Neptunas. And they love Galdikas here, don't they? Galdikas says, yeah, whatever, I got to go. I got to give some high fives. See the turnover game, 16 for each. And Weaver kind of approaching legendary status here at Neptunas, you can see. Those fans there really want to have a conversation, don't they? Kalinitakaitis with the 2 steals. Pressey finished with 4 steals. Oh, that is beautiful stuff right there. Fans coming out and thanking him for the win. Have you ever seen so many low fives and high fives? Oh, God. You got to love these fans in Klaipeda. They should make that mandatory. All players have to go and shake the hands of the fans after the game before they go to the locker room. If they win, of course. So looking back at the highlights, and remember they went up by 20 points in the second half. That was one of the plays of the game, really, the behind-the-back pass by Pressey right there. Ola Savicius tonight had a nice game, 14 points. And Galdikas as well was effective as usual. 5.6 rebounds. Lorenzo Williams, 6 points and 9 assists. So you gotta tip your hat to Lorenzo Williams. He was dishing it out. I tell you, Masulis is still young and he's still learning his way around the court at this level, but he has got some serious potential. Veseloglu, I thought, one of the players that comes out with some credit tonight for Besiktas. He had 14 points. That was Benzing's 4-point play. Well, he got fouled on that three-pointer and then made the free throw. Grant, for the second consecutive week, came to play and did very well. Ola Savicius was 6 of 9 from the floor. Grant, as you see that dunk, was 5 of 11 from the floor, 3 of 4 at the free throw line. And that was a basket that helped them breathe a little bit easier. So the coaches shake hands, and one more time, Neptunas Klaipeda winning it 78-63 over Besiktas here in Group D of the Basketball Champions League. Thanks for watching. Well, here are the standings, in fact. So you've got Neptunas now have climbed up into that top 4. Prometheus currently in action against Petrol Olympia. And Besiktas also in the top 4, but they are now 1-1. So 78-63, Neptunas Klaipeda win it over Besiktas Sompo, Japan.